in a cold case murder more than a decade old. 31-year-old man deported back to the Middle East years ago, now charged with killing a Cleveland woman. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brian Duffy.
It is a story you're going to see on Just One Station. Investigator Sarah Goldenberg looks into the charges and asks, do investigators know where he is?
November 29, 2011, just 5 days after Thanksgiving, a grisly discovery behind this convenience store on Euclid Ave in Cleveland's Euclid Green neighborhood. A woman's body found lying face down. She had been strangled. Police identified her as Heather O'Brien, 21 years old, from Cleveland. She was originally from Marietta. Investigators collected evidence and tried to find her killer. But as years passed, the case went cold. Until charges came down this month for Yusuf Ali, now 31 years old. A grand jury indicted Ali on 2 counts of aggravated murder and 5 other felony charges. We also learned Ali was convicted of a sexual assault that happened just 6 months after Heather was found dead. In May 2012, an 18-year-old woman told police Ali grabbed her by the neck and dragged her up the stairs to his apartment in Slavic Village. He attempted to assault her and drag her inside, but she broke a window. He let her go, apologizing. During his arrest that same day, Ali's uncle said he has warned him about the way he is with women. Ali was originally charged with 4 felonies, including attempted rape, but he pleaded guilty to reduced charges, was classified as a Tier 2 sex offender, and was sentenced to 1 year in prison. But before Ali was released in 2013, he was handed over to Immigration, Homeland Security, and deported, according to the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Office. Court documents show Ali is from Jordan. So the question is, do investigators know where he is? And if he's still out of the country, will he be extradited back to Ohio to face a judge for these charges? We're waiting to hear back from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to learn more.
The other question we're asking is, how did investigators solve this case? We reached out to the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office and Cleveland Police, and we did not get those answers. Heather O'Brien would be 34 years old if she was still alive today. Sarah Goldenberg, 19 News.